Hey guys, Joe DeMarco from the Crazy New York Driver Show for Friday, May 16th, 2025. Welcome to another eBay video. In tonight's video, we're going to be talking about why you, as an eBay seller, must always use tracking information when shipping your items. I got a good story for you, and it involves poor Joey personally. I'm also going to be talking about something that we all disdain. Once again, buyers messaging us saying, "What is your lowest price?" I got something to show you that's definitely going to make you chuckle. I also want to talk about best offers, reasonable ones, that we're all getting, where eBay is telling us we'll be paid immediately, and we're still not being paid. At all. Zero. Nothing. Nada. And lastly, a very concerning story about feedback. So, that being said, let's get right into it. I will not be doing any cutaways today. I will be working directly off my phone and showing you any screenshots I have to show you from my phone. So yeah, I'm going to start off, I think, with talking about tracking. As you know, eBay requires all sellers to upload tracking as soon as you ship your items. If you use eBay labels, it's automatically done for you. It's very easy, it's very quick. I think it's a good idea that everybody upload their tracking info. Although I'm mainly a seller on eBay, I do buy on eBay too. And for the first time, in as long as I can remember, I have a seller who has clicked item shipped and not uploaded any tracking. How can this be possible? Well, obviously he didn't use eBay labels, that's a given. If he would have gone to the post office, he could have paid counter price, but then he could have uploaded the tracking number manually, and he didn't do that either. The size of the box is approximately, the minimum it could be is going to be 12 by 12 by 7, okay? But I'm going to show you something now. This is going to be a screenshot. I'm going to use the phone, as I said. I want you to look carefully at this. Can any of you remember getting a message like that saying that your item was shipped untracked? I don't remember it ever happening to me in my eBay career, and I've been with eBay for 25 years. Backstory, I purchased 2 items, one on March 6th, one on March 7th. The one on March 7th uploaded the tracking right away, shipped the items to me. I have them. The one on March 6th has done nothing but click item shipped. Today, as you know, is the 16th. The last estimated eBay delivery date for this item was yesterday, the 15th. I have nothing. I'm going to have to open an item not received case. This person is not a new seller. They didn't just start eBay. They have good feedback. I checked. But it looks like they just never shipped my item. I won the item very cheaply, as you probably saw with shipping. And I think he doesn't like the fact that he's going to be losing money. That's just my hypothesis. But anyway, I will keep you guys in the loop and let you know what's going on in next week's eBay video. Next topic that's going to probably bring a smile to your face, and I hope it does, is what is your lowest price? This really, really triggers me because I have the best offer option enabled on every one of my over 1,200 listings. So if I have an item for $100 and a buyer only wants to offer me $30, which I would never accept, that's his right. He can click on best offer and offer me $30. But when they circumvent the best offer button and say something like, what is your lowest price? In my opinion, they're doing it because they have no intention of buying your item. They feel that if they do click best offer and offer you $30, they feel that they'll have to pay right away and they don't want to pay at all, okay? So I'm going to show you a message I got the other day, and you tell me your personal opinion about this. Apparently, this guy is very short on words. He can only say 2 of them at a time, minimum price. I should also tell you that he's located overseas. I responded to him with an even shorter response. Bye! And I blocked him. This is not unusual for me. You wouldn't believe how many people I have to block per week. All right? It's sad, but I gotta protect myself. If you don't look out for you, no one else is gonna look out for you. So you do what you gotta do. If anybody gives me an inkling of causing problems, they're getting blocked. I had one the other day where I had some alloy wheel centers listed, what they fit. I get this message. I want you to measure the back in centimeters because I want to put them on a different wheel than the one you have in the picture. Oh, really? Thanks for warning me. I told him to get them locally, and he's blocked. Too many returns in eBay Motors. I can't risk it. I have no compunction about blocking somebody like that. There are people that don't want to take no for an answer. Sad but true. I'm here to give advice. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. And there are some people that just don't want to listen. Again, myself and others in the Facebook groups are still getting unpaid items on eBay. I had 2 or 3 this week where I was given a best offer that was reasonable. eBay said I'd be paid immediately, and I accepted the offer. Now, on the positive side, most of the time, these automatic payments come through pretty quickly, but not all of them. I had a few that took maybe 6 hours, and I had a few where I never got paid at all, and I double-checked the item's still on the shelf. I really don't know what's going on or why it's happening, but it's not just happening to me because somebody made a post in the Facebook groups, so it is still an issue. Hard to believe that in 2025 there are still unpaid items on the platform. Next topic I want to talk about is feedback, and this is quite concerning. I'm going to give you the backstory. I'm going to read something to you. I am not going to be posting any screenshots for this because 2 reasons. Number 1, it didn't happen to me. It happened to one of you who contacted me. Number 2, it's very highly offensive. And I've decided not to read the feedback itself. But I am going to read the story that the gentleman told me, or part of it anyway. And I can assure you that the buyer did leave the negative feedback in question because I saw it firsthand. Okay? So the seller writes to me this little story. I had a buyer who committed return fraud on a motorcraft part. You know as well as I do, sometimes Ford stamps a different number on the box than is on the actual item. It's common kits where the product comes with more than one item. Say like a timing belt kit. Each part will have different numbers. The buyer opens a return for doesn't match description or photos, and then, out of nowhere, leaves me feedback saying I'm a Holocaust denier and that I hate Jews. I requested to have the feedback removed, and you guessed it, eBay says it's perfectly okay to accuse someone of hating Jews and being a Holocaust denier. It's the buyer's experience. The seller went on to say, this is so deeply offensive to me that I may get a lawyer involved. And he's got more he's going to say, but I'm not going to read any more of that. So I wrote back to him. He showed me the screenshot, and he's legit. The buyer started off leaving negative feedback about the product, and then segued and called the seller those names that I just said on camera. And of course, the feedback removal was denied, which is horrible, absolutely despicable. I told this seller that for the moment he shouldn't do anything. I said, listen to me. I said, if you push the issue, I know what's going to happen. I said, eBay will probably look at it. If you get a real representative with a brain, they will look at it and they will remove the comment, but they're going to leave that red dot up because the buyer was complaining about the product as well. I know you're probably at a disadvantage because I didn't read the actual negative feedback because I don't think I should on camera, but you'll have to take my word for it. The buyer started out saying that it's not as described, the wrong part was sent, blah, 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 and then segued into the other religious aspect. Now, even if, let's just say the seller made a mistake and he sent the wrong part, you should never accuse somebody of what this person was accused of. And the fact that it's not automatically removed is pitiful. It's pitiful. I have the screenshot, okay? So, I mean, I know it was said. And the moral of the story here, in my opinion, is this is another example of how the eBay feedback system is so flawed and so in favor of the buyer. What does it tell you when a buyer can leave hateful religious comments like I just alluded to, and a seller has no recourse and can't do a thing about it? It's despicable. It's despicable. I told you the story years ago, back in the early days of eBay, when there was this one seller. I believe it was a woman, but I could never prove it. And she would leave horrible feedback, calling her buyers child molesters, wife beaters, rapists, the worst of the worst. And that stuff stayed up for years. eBay would not take it down. Of course, back then it was the Wild West of eBay, where the seller could actually retaliate with negative feedback for the buyer. I'm not saying that it makes it right or any less of a crime. No, I'm just saying keep it in mind. Now, we as sellers have no recourse. None. That's one of the most egregious things that I've seen in a long time as far as buyer abuse on the platform. Now, I don't know too much about the item itself, what was sent. The buyer did open a return, not as described, so the seller will be forced to take the item back and pay shipping. That much I do know. I feel not only should that feedback be taken down, and the rating too, but I feel that the buyer should be held accountable and not be allowed to leave negative feedback for at least 6 months. That's my personal feeling. Think about it this way. eBay has a rule about feedback saying they will remove feedback that doesn't pertain to the transaction. And what this person said definitely does not pertain to the transaction. So why is it not taken down? Now let's just say a miracle happens and the best eBay concierge rep is contacted, looks at it and says, hey, I'm taking down the comment and I'm taking down the rating, which is the right thing to do. Given that the buyer has violated eBay protocol, why is that buyer not being punished? Why? Because in some people's eyes, buyers can do no wrong. All right? You have to understand there's a fine line between buyers and scammers and haters, okay? Most people on eBay are legit good buyers, all right? Most of them are. But there are some that aren't. And the ones that aren't are that way because they've gotten away with it repeatedly and they know beyond any doubt they can do what they want with absolutely no fear of reprisal from eBay. And they are right. It's always been a problem, but it doesn't have to be a problem. There are so many things eBay could do to take care of this, but they just don't seem to be interested in retooling the feedback system. As a 25-year seller, I can think of so many improvements they can make that would benefit both buyer and seller. They won't do it. For instance, after a certain period of time, let's just say a month, since most of us take returns for 30 days, if a month goes by and the buyer doesn't leave any feedback, odds are he's not going to. eBay should automatically leave positive feedback for every seller after 30 days, bar none. Not just people starting out. None of this double standard crap. Everybody's equal. Those of us have been selling on eBay for 25 years are loyal sellers and should be respected. Another thing that I think eBay should do is when they remove unfair negative feedback, whatever the reason is, they should sanction the buyer for violating protocol. I'm not saying kick them off the platform right away, no. In fact, everybody's allowed one oops. The first time they do it, they get a stern warning. This is to advise you, you have violated eBay procedure in leaving negative feedback for John Smith because, and in this case, they could talk about religion. You are hating on religion, blah, blah, blah. We are noting this in your account. Next time, you will lose your privileges to leave feedback on the platform. You can still buy, but you will not be allowed to leave feedback because religious intolerance or intolerance due to someone's sexual preferences or job or whatever should never be tolerated. Never. I really wasn't planning on expounding so long on this one particular issue, but this gentleman emailed me the other night, and it's been on my mind since then. It doesn't really boggle my head that there are nasty people out there that will leave feedback like that. I understand there are. It happens. We've all met a couple of nut jobs in our day. But the fact that eBay refused to remove it is sick. It's wrong. And I'm going to keep up on this story. I'm going to find out what happens. And I'm going to keep you guys in the loop. Sales this week have been, once again, relatively slow. Had a couple of decent days, yes. But I also had a few really slow days. Really slow. I have absolutely no geriatric stories for you this week. It's been a very peaceful week for cute Joey, so I have that going for me. But I have noticed a pattern, and most of you guys probably won't care about this, but I've been wanting to tell you this. Two patterns I've noticed. When I do a big buyout, whether it be at a swap meet or a going out of business sale, and I buy a huge inventory with a lot of hot things, naturally I can't wait to list them on eBay to start making a profit. Well, every time I do a big buyout, I am guaranteed 2 straight weeks of cloudy, rainy weather, and by God, that's what we're having right now. We're not supposed to have any sun till at least Monday, and they're saying if we do get that one day, it's right back to another week of rain. Been absolutely awful. Another pattern I've noticed that has to do with returns, it's the weirdest thing, the absolute freakiest. No matter what day a buyer files for a return, no matter what day a buyer actually ships that return, chances are the return will arrive on Saturday. I've been wanting to tell you this for the longest time, but it's something I've noticed. It's a trend. Have you guys noticed this trend as well? Let me know. And that, my friends, is basically all I have to discuss tonight. I'm Crazy New York Driver, you're not. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you appreciate the fact that I was able to film this video right through with no cuts, no splits. I ad-libbed all of it. I don't read off a piece of paper. And yeah, it's just, that's the way I roll. Off the cuff Joe. So guys, as I said, I hope you found this video helpful, informative, and most of all, entertaining. Please comment about the eBay topics I brought up, or any topic you want, as long as it has to do with eBay. That being said, I hope you guys make a ton of money this week on eBay. Rock on and peace.